The power to be almighty, the power to be master of the universe.
Right, for those interested, there it is, Masters of the Universe, reels 1 and 2. It's come on these reels, but I'm not enthused, simply because you can sort of see like moulding around here. This is all mould, so we're going to rewind this onto a take-up reel, give it a clean, give the spool a clean, and then rewind it back to get it nice and sorted out. So today we're going to be using Zebra Clean from Hydra. I'm not entirely sure these guys do this anymore, but it's worked well for us. It doesn't really have any impact on the film that we've seen before in the copious amounts of film we've cleaned with this. I don't believe it's a lubricator, so once this is all cleaned up, we are going to have to give this a lubrication pass, I guess, but there is a distinct lack of film guard. We can't get film renew in this country, which is really annoying, but there is a distinct lack of film guard for this, so sorry, in the UK at the moment. So once that comes in, we will go back and film guard this, which should only be in another week or two. Plenty of time before we ever look to project this thing. So yeah, let's do that. So I thought I'd just show you, I am using this IQ 2000 foot auto take-up reel. I'll stick it over that way in a minute, just to take this film off, but I wanted to show you the size difference. So this is a 2000 foot reel, and that is a 1600 foot reel. Yeah, so most 16mm portable projectors can only take up to 2000 foot reels, which is what this IQ does. This is an auto take-up reel, which works really well. Auto take up because these sort of notches here sort of catch the film as it comes out of the projector and self tightens it, so you don't have to do any threading of the actual spool itself. But yeah, anyway, let's crack on. All right, so we got the take up reel, we got the feed reel. Just put some of these things up there because we don't want to lose them. So this is a really old bench. It came from Tony Scott in the UK, his estate, and you can see it does have a built-in little light, which is great. Oh god, it's really the camera's not liking that. But effectively, this allows us to inspect the film. It also allows us to rewind, and this particular one has a bit of a crazy rewind action. It can go both ways, but it only does it on the one side, which is super annoying. So yes, what I'm actually going to have to do is swap these over. Yeah. So I'll try and show you how to, set this up without the phone falling over. So we're going to wind an emulsion in. Right, so we're going to stick it in here. Because it's a self-take-up reel, I'm kind of hoping that it'll just, take itself up. If I just give it a bit of a hand. There we go. Alright. So now that, if I just apply, I'm just, with my hand, I'm just holding the other reel, as I sort of just give it a slow wind, just to sort of get some tension on there first. And then I'm going to basically use this film cleaner with these pack pads, and I'm going to just take a one, give it a bit of a. Oh, you want one? These are really they do really well at lasting. So just give it a bit of a spray, right, and then I'm just going to pinch, basically, but I'm not going to do it here. I'll do it over there. I'm going to pinch it like this. And then very slowly give it a wind. Literally, these things are a bit of a labour of love. They're not not quick, but these prints, they're rare, so you got to look after them. You've got to look after them quite a lot. And it's funny, what I'm doing is holding the film, but I'm also braking, and that's a braking, braking the feed side so that it doesn't free spin, so you don't have the film unspooling. Now when it gets to a good little moment on the film, I'll stop it and show you through the loop what we've got. So look, this is just the very first elements of this film. I'm talking like literally, I don't know, maybe 5 feet, 10 feet, something like that. So these can get very dirty. So yeah, this needs a proper good clean. This could be the old lubricating stuff that was on the film as well. But we're going to clean it all off, and then we're going to re-lubricate it later. So yeah. Now here you can see the Canon Films logo, which is pretty epic. You can see the quality of this print already. It looks fantastic, and here it sort of just is without the loop. What I'm also doing as I'm cleaning it is I'm inspecting the sprocket holes, these 16mm sprocket holes, to make sure there are no rips, tears, or anything that needs to be fixed using a splice. So, yeah. Now I just wanted to show you this section of film. You can see here it's quite bright, and then it goes dark, and then it goes light again. That was done with an optical printer. Yeah, so all these fades back in the day, they all had to be done using an optical printer. So just bear that in mind, the amount of effort that every sort of, if it's not a jump cut, if it's a dissolve or anything like that, all these little things had to be done in the lab by an optical printing machine, which now are really rare to find, right, because no one uses them. Everyone uses digital and all that sort of stuff. But there are a few surviving ones, and you can see this is Eastman LPP safety film. So, yeah, thought that'd be really interesting. So sometimes, let me turn this off so the flickering. So sometimes you've got to deal with this, which is a splice on the reel that was not in good shape. So we've got to fix it, and that's exactly what the splice block is for. Really carefully, because these are not. So I'm just going to line it up and basically put some more tape on. Simple as that. I'm doing this one-handed, so hence why it's a bit difficult. So yeah, this is the tape. You try and do it both sides, but for single perforated films like these prints, you've actually got to flip the film over, so it's a bit annoying. So you can see I'm trying to line this up as best I can, so I'm going to have to put the phone down just to do this bit basically. So we then push it down and we go cut the tape, put it back up, and then we should have a nice join there. Now to get the other side, I've actually got to twizzle it and flip it. And you can sort of see the splice now. The edges need to be pushed down a little bit, but yeah, double-sided, so it doesn't snap in the projector. Now, surprisingly enough, this tiny bit of damage, which is also what we're looking for, to the emulsion or the dyes or whatever in the sound area of the film, that's actually going to be more noticeable, I think, than an image area damage. And the reason is that's probably going to have quite a pop in the audio. The way these work is a light is shined through this part of the film, and basically it's using the luminance or the brightness of the light that passes through the film to give it its amplitude and frequency to an extent when based on how fast the film's moving. So this is probably going to be quite distracting. So we're going to test that a little bit later, but that's also what we're looking for on these reels as we inspect them. So this is also what we're dealing with. This is a cement splice, which in and of itself is not too much of a problem, but that ledge there, that sprocket's damaged. So we might have to tape splice this just to repair that sprocket. This is a very expensive print, so you just cannot take any sort of chances. So let's do that now. Right, that's all the cleaning stuff that came off it, which is, yeah, pretty horrible. The reels, the old reel's down there, and the reason is that's got mold, tiny little bits of mold on it, so that needs a full clean, because we don't want no mold whatsoever. If any mold gets on the film, big trouble. So that reel really needs to be quarantined and cleaned, deep cleaned properly. So we're going to use the other Ike take-up reel that we have. But before I do that, I'm just adding some tail leader. I'm replacing the leader it had on because it was a bit greasy, which can be just the lubricant, right? But I think it's probably just safer we put a completely new bit of leader on for the tail, which I'll do now, and then we'll get it onto the projector and do a projection inspection, I guess.
The power to be almighty, the power to be master of the universe.